rather than just ask you, an obvious question about what you think, but what do you think his candidacy is having an effect on what's happening on the ground here in Texas while he's doing this, either in the run-up or now?
Well, sure. I think in a couple of ways, although I must admit I hadn't thought about that in this level of detail, but I'd say that there's two ways. One is he's not around, and the lieutenant governor, who is the governor in his absence, is running for office, running for a different office. He's running for the United States Senator. So what that boils down to is there's a feeling, I think, you can feel it at the Capitol, that they're not there. Now, I don't know that that's resulted in anything either positive or negative, but there is that sense that there's not push on different things, and my guess is that you don't see as many pronouncements from the governor's office about things that might be occurring in Texas as you would normally see, because they don't want to create any controversy here. Near as I can tell, there's enough going on for them in other places. So they don't want to create the controversy here. So it's pretty quiet. Now, that's the day-to-day kind of sense of things. But I also think you probably see it in what happens on the ground, in the sense of, there's a whole lot going on in this state right now. And everything from wildfires to how you deal with lawsuits that have been filed related to education, to what you do in terms of redistricting and the lawsuits going on there, and the fact that the margins tax, that lawsuit's ongoing. There's a whole lot going on. And when people are elsewhere, and this isn't a criticism so much, it's just that when you're in Iowa or New Hampshire or South Carolina, you can't be as involved in things that are happening right here at home.
Do you think it's fair to say that the governor and his staff were pretty involved when they are here, say during the session?
Well, it depends on how you define that. The governor was more involved, the governor and the governor's staff, I think, was more involved this last session than I had seen them in previous sessions. My impression of the way the governor deals as a general rule with the legislature is you see a lot of activity at the very beginning when the State of the State speech is given, and then you see a lot of activity at the very end when the veto pen comes out. This last session, I'm kind of complimentary of the way he was involved and the staff was involved, because we had better input from his staff, at least my impression was, better input from his staff about where they might have problems that would result in something being vetoed. And because of the budget nature, and I don't know that he was planning on running for president, but because of the nature of the budget and some of the very hard lines that he drew about how you could deal with the budget, which I think had a negative impact on this budget, he was more involved than I'd seen him in past. Now, the part I was complimentary about, let me be clear, is on the veto stuff and knowing what you might get, you might work yourself silly trying to pass a bill and then it gets vetoed for some reason you didn't even know about. His office was much better on that. I'm not very complimentary about how they handled the budget. In fact, I could be a little negative if you want.